Part B. Use of locomotive horns. When most of the locomotive horns be used, except the fragments apart locomotive horns that leave the locomotive terrain little light with the locomotive consist of the individual locomotive lead cap of the car should be timed with the precise for the locomotive the lead car for the approach with the public highway grade crossing time with the locomotive horn 2 long blast, 1 short blast, 1 long blast should be initiated the locations over the in course with the of the section should be repeated prolonged until the location of the locomotive occupied with the car. Crossing of the part of pattern may be varied with the necessary width. The crossing space with the closely together. B1 rare with which for the part of the apply with the shall comply with all the requirements contained in the paragraph B with the beginning with the December 15th, 2006 for the after June 24th, 2005 prior to December 15th, 2006. The railroad shall in its option to comply with the section with the sound of the locomotive the horn in the main manner with the required the state law with the absence of the state law with the manner of the required of the railroad operating rule with an effect immediately prior to June 24th, 2005. Substitute provided in paragraph B3 and D with the section whenever the locomotive horn is effective, the locomotive is being moved with the repairs consistent with the section 229.9 with the chapter the locomotive horn shall begin with the sound of at least for the 15 seconds no more than 20 seconds before the locomotive enters the crossing. It shall be consequent to the violation of section 8 of the action with the good faith locomotive entering begins with the sounding of the locomotive horn no more than 25 seconds before the locomotive enters the crossing. The locomotive entering is unable to precisely estimate the time of the arrival of the train at the crossing. Whatever the reason, the train locomotive consists of the individual locomotive train at the speed of at least excess of 60 miles an hour should not begin sounding with the horn no more than 1/4 mile in advance of the nearest public highway, the grade crossing, even if the advance of the warning provided by the locomotive. Horn will be less than 15 seconds of duration. Stay within 222.3 with the section does not apply with the Chicago region the highway the grade crossing at which if the railroad exceeds with the sounding of the locomotive horn in the Illinois Commerce Commission where the railroads do not sound with the horn of December 18, 2003. Train locomotives consider the individual locomotive that have been stopped with a close proximity to the public highway crossing may be approached with the crossing sound with the locomotive horn less than 15 seconds before the locomotive enters the highway grade crossing. If the locomotive engineer is able to determine the public highway grade crossing either obstructed or not, it's not obstructed either when the public highway the grade crossing equipped with the automatic flashing light with the gates and gates have wholly lowered. There are no conflicting highway movements approaching the public highway grade crossing. Each, whether the state of the law requires sounding the locomotive the audible warning device other than the locomotive the horn public highway grade crossing, the locomotive the audible warning device should be dead corners with the paragraph B and D of the section. Alright, 222.23, how does the regulation affect the sounding of the horn during the emergency other and situation? Notwithstanding the provision of the part of the locomotive engineer may sound with the locomotive horn to provide the warning of the animal vehicles operated pedestrian trespass for the collision with other trains of the emergency of the situation with the locomotive engineer's sole judgment, such for the action of the appropriate in order to prevent the imminent injury, death, or property damage. Notwithstanding any of the provision of this part, including the provisions addressing the establishment of the quiet zone limited with the length of the time that the horn may be sounded with the installation of the wayside horns, but the quiet zone of the part does not preclude the sounding of the locomotive horns in the emergency situation. That does any be part of the legal duty to sound the locomotive horn in such a situation. Nothing in this part of the restricted the use of the locomotive horn in the following situation: when the wayside of the horn is malfunctioned, when the active grade of the crossing warning device is malfunctioned, review the horn of the required one of the following section of the chapter 234, 105, 106, and 107. When the grade crossing warning is system or temporarily out of service during the inspection, maintenance, and testing of the system, the supplementary safety measurement is provided with the supplementary safety measurement. Engineers does not comply with the requirements set forth in Appendix A, but the part of the condition that was retained with the associated administrative decision approved with the quiet zone in accordance with section 222.39b of this part. Alright, nothing of this part restricted the use of the locomotive on the horn purpose of the highway railroad everything announced in the approach of the train the road work in accordance with the program adopted under part 214 of the chapter. We require the other purposes under the railroad operating rules. Alright, 222.25. How does the railroad affect provide with the highway railroad grade crossing? The rule does not require the routine sounding locomotive with the horns provide for the highway railroad crossing. However, the state with the law requires the sounding of the locomotive horn to private the highway grade crossing. The locomotive horn shall be sounded in accordance with statute 222.21 for this part. With the state law requires the sounding of the locomotive audible warning device other than the locomotive horn private the horn railway crossing. The locomotive's audible warning device shall be sounded in accordance with statute 222.21b and D of this part. Private highway grade crossing located at the boundaries of the quiet zone shall include the quiet zone. Private highway grade crossing are located with the new quiet zone, the new partial quiet zones, and allow the access of the public, which will provide access to the industrial, the commercial site, but there must be evaluated diagnostic team equipped with the trade in accordance with the recommendation for the size of the diagnostic team. The public authority shall provide with the state agency responsible for grade crossing and safety with all effect of the railroad opportunity to participate in the diagnostic team and review of the private highway grade crossing. C1. The minimum of the approach of each of the highway grade crossing of the new quiet zone, the new partial quiet zone should be marked with the crossbuck with the stop, the sign with the compliant with the must see with the sunlight otherwise prescribed in the state law should be equipped with advanced warning system in compliance with the statute 223.35c of this part. A minimum of each of the approach of each of the private highway railway crossing within the pre-rule quiet zone with the pre-rule with the partial quiet zone shall be June 20th, 24th, 2008 mark with the crossback with the stop sign where compliance with must see the standard unless otherwise prescribed in the state law, but it shall be equipped with advance warning sign compliance with the 222.35Z with the subpart. Alright, 222.27 how does the rule affect the pedestrian grade crossing? The rule does not require the routine sound of the locomotive of the horns of the pedestrian grade crossing. However, the weather state law requires the sound of the locomotive horn and pedestrian grade of the crossing locomotive horn shall be the sound of the horns of the 222.21 of the part state law requires the sound of the locomotive audible horn device other than the locomotive pedestrian grade crossing locomotive's audible warning device shall be sound horns with the 222.21B and D with the part pedestrian grade crossing locomotive located within the boundary of the quiet zone must be included with the quiet zone pedestrian grade crossing located within the new quiet zone. New partial quiet zones must be evaluated with the diagnostic team and equipped with the treated in accordance with the recommendations such as the diagnostic team public authority with the provide the state agency responsible for the grade of the crossing of the safety all the effective the railroads have opportunity to participate in the diagnostic team reviews the pedestrian grade crossing. Alright, 8, or D, advanced warning system. Each of the approval of every pedestrian grade crossing the new quiet zone shall be equipped with the sign with the drive of the pedestrian train horse, not the sign with the crossing of the surface of the channels, conform with the same with the contained with the must CD. Each of the approach from every pedestrian grade crossing the new partial quiet zone should be equipped with the sign with the advice of the pedestrian that train horns are not sounded at the crossing of the train horns are not sounded with the crossing between the 10 a.m. p.m. and the 7 a.m. Whenever this act with such a design shall be conformed with the standards contained in the CD. Each of the approach of every pedestrian crossing the pre-quiet rules to be equipped with the June 4th, 2008 with the 5 of the pedestrian train horns not signed with the crossing sign. Such signs conform with the most standards contained in the CD. Alright, each approach with every pedestrian grade cross the pre-rule partial quiet zone shall be equipped with the June 24th, 2008 sign with the 5 of the pedestrian train horns not signed with the crossing with the train. The horns are not signed with the crossing of the specified period of the time, whichever there is applicable to such signs can conform to the standard with the certain with the must CD. Alright, so C, exemptions of the use of the locomotive, exceptions to the use of the locomotive horn.